Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers preview and prediction of this important Week 12 game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cincinnati Bengals. Big time AFC North matchup. Let's talk about what to watch for in this game. And looking at the Bengals as a whole, this team is relatively unchanged both in personnel and personality since the week 3 matchup, which of course the Bengals won. We'll start with Cincinnati's offense. And again, it's a lot of the same bases, a lot of the same kind of overall keys and points and things to look for. Jamar Chase has obviously broken out in a big way this season and had one of his breakout coming out parties against the Steelers in week 3 with a pair of touchdowns, including a long 42-yard touchdown at the end of the first half against James Pierre, which was pivotal in that game. He's been a little bit quieter the last 3 weeks after that 200 plus yard just outburst against Baltimore. Defenses, of course, have really tried to take him away, and so his numbers and his big plays have gone down. But the offense as a whole has actually opened up. Over their first 5 games of the Bengals this season, they didn't score more than 27 points in any one of those games. For their last 5 games, they've scored 30 plus. And so when you take away and you're doubling Chase, it's opening up other guys, and this offense has plenty of weapons. You're talking Tyler Boyd, a key guy on third down. They'll line him up in the slot, number two, number three, run slants and option routes with him, and he's the go-to target in those big time moments. There's also T. Higgins, who's having a decent sophomore season. Maybe not putting up the numbers people thought, but when you have Chase and the run game and all the weapons that they have, it's hard for one guy to put up extra gaudy numbers. CJ Uzama is a really underrated tight end, 5 touchdowns this season. He wasn't involved in the offense early in the year in that first matchup against Pittsburgh. Not really a big player in kind of the scheme in the pass game, but he certainly had a big thumbprint on this offense ever since. And then, of course, Joe Mixon, which is a really talented running back who's got good power and vision. Not big plays. They're kind of get more of a grinded out type of run game, similar to Pittsburgh, where they're not going to bust you for 60 yards, but they're going to consistently stay on schedule. And Burrow's playing really well. His arm strength to me has improved by leaps and bounds from where it was his rookie season. So kudos to him. So schematically, they're a similar team. They run a decent amount of play action. I think they're well called offense. They're going to run constraint plays and set up one thing with something else, and they run jets and they run play actions and screens, and they kind of all build off of each other. And so it's a difficult offense to defend in that respect. Overall, though, I think the main takeaway when you think about this Bengals offense is just the fact the Steelers defense will be A, healthier compared to last week, and then B, healthier compared to where it was in week 3, a game in which TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith did not play. And so that game there was zero pressure on Joe Burrow. Didn't sack him once. Didn't get a quarterback hit. Broke that long sack streak that Pittsburgh had. And so you should expect and should certainly would hopefully need T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith to get more pressure in this game. Watt, especially over on that offense's right side, defense's left side there. So that'll be the big key in this one. The run defense has to be better. It's been really poor again. Guys have to be gaps down and tackle better and all those kind of fundamental things. Devin Bush certainly needs to improve his play. That's been well documented by everybody. But just overall, the health of this defense and hopefully an increased pass rush. There's a pretty strong and obvious correlation there between the Steelers' pass rush and their ability to win, and when it's not there, and how often they lose. Defensively for the Bengals, again, it's a similar story. A lot of the same faces. I think it's a good run defense, and that's troublesome for Pittsburgh because they're built on needing to have a successful run game, and that's been fleeting over the last couple weeks. It was better versus Detroit. It was pretty poor against Chicago, and really poor against the Chargers, who they really should have ran on and had limited success against. And so the Bengals will go heavy whenever you go heavy. So if Pittsburgh wants to come out and play 12 personnel or 21 personnel, don't be surprised to see the Bengals play 5 defensive linemen the way that they did in that first matchup. And Pittsburgh kind of was running into a brick wall over and over and over again. So I think if you want to run the ball and they need to run the ball, Pittsburgh does, you're going to have to kind of spread things out more and probably run some more 11 personnel. Or maybe you go heavy and try to go empty and get some quick pass games off that against that 5 defensive lineman front where they're going to have to play zone. They don't have great coverage guys out there and things like that. This pass rush for the Bengals has been really formidable. Trey Hendrickson's been a really strong free agent pickup for them, 9.5 sacks. Sam Hubbard's always played well against Pittsburgh. He's got 6 sacks. They just are a good defensive line. They don't blitz that much, but they get a good amount of pressure. And so I think about one matchup in particular, both run and pass game, more so thinking about the run game. Kendrick Green on Larry Ogunjobi, the former Cleveland Brown, now with the Bengals. Green really struggled against Ogunjobi in that first matchup. And so he's got to play better in this one. I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to pull a lot and run a lot of trap runs and things like that because Dawson's not playing. But the Green really struggled with those back blocks on those kind of pull and gap plays. And so if they do that, Green's got to be better. But he's got to be better overall against Ogunjobi at the point of attack. So overall, my prediction in this one, and this was probably the toughest game I've had to pick for Pittsburgh all season. I think on paper the Bengals are a good team. I think they match up well against the Steelers overall, but just knowing the Steelers getting healthy, they didn't have, as I mentioned, Watt and Highsmith in that first matchup. Did not have Deontay Johnson in that game. And Pittsburgh just kind of finds a way to win some of these games they feel like they kind of need to have. That happened in that 1-3 start where that margin for error was really thin, and it's not quite as dire now. But you don't want to fall to 5-5-1, obviously, in this very competitive AFC North when the Browns and Ravens are playing against each other. So overall, my prediction in this one, Pittsburgh finds a way to squeezes out a win, 24-23 is my prediction. A very close contest. It usually is the case in these AFC North battles, and so Pittsburgh gets their revenge and beats the Bengals. So those are my predictions and preview for the game. Of course, we'll recap this one after the game and throughout next week. What is your prediction for this game? Do you agree with me? The Steelers will find a way to win, or will the Bengals, who are about 4-point favorites in this one, will they take the victory at home? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. If you guys have not done so already, appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you soon.